A bunch of airlines just raised the cost to check a bag again. So what are you supposed to do? Travel the world with just one bag, of course. And today we'll show you how to get started. We start with the right bag. But before we get into it, we're giving away some of Air's new tech collection, so check that out in the link in the description below. It might seem obvious, but you'll need to approach your packing differently for a warm weather weekend getaway than for a month-long tour of Europe or a week at a ski resort. That means whatever bag you bring will have to fit everything you need, and there are a few different ways you can go. You may prefer carrying a travel backpack, but your companion may prefer rolling luggage. If you have a long walk over cobblestone streets to your accommodation, we recommend picking a bag you can carry, like a backpack or a duffel. But you still want it to be comfortable enough, or you could start your vacation with a sore back and shoulders. When I was in Sorrento, right when you get off the ferry, there's this huge flight of stairs that everybody has to walk up to get to the main city area. And everybody with rolling luggage had to go this really long, curved pathway up that wasn't super convenient, but everybody with backpacks, or if they wanted to just carry their luggage by hand, went right up the stairs and it was perfectly fine. On the other hand, if you're just walking through the airport and taking an Uber to a resort where the bellhop will plop your suitcase on a cart to bring to your room, you may prefer to pair a small personal item bag with a rolling carry-on luggage. Most have harder sides that protect your gear from getting crushed when your bag gets tossed in the back of the shuttle bus. Rolling luggage is also more comfortable and convenient in hot climates. Remember all those stairs in Sorrento I just mentioned? I was more than a little sweaty by the time I got to the top. Of course, if you're flying a budget airline that charges you for every last thing, you may want to travel with just that personal item bag, since they often charge more for carry-ons. Ultimately, the style of bag you choose will come down to what's most comfortable, affordable, and convenient for you. Regardless of what you pick, triple check the allowable dimensions. Some airlines are more forgiving, but some budget carriers insist that no part of your bag, from the handle to the shoulder straps, sticks outside of the measurement box. Even a school backpack can be too big, so you'll want to be really careful to avoid getting charged at the gate. I was on a recent flight back from Arizona, and I was flying Frontier, and they were having every single person that walked through check their personal item in that little box, and anybody that was a little oversized got charged. The bag's weight matters too. If your airline restricts you to a certain amount, you don't want to waste ounces on your bag that you could use to bring something else. Two of Southeast Asia's most popular airlines, Lion Air and AirAsia, will limit you to just 7 kilograms. No matter the size of your bag, we like going with boxier shapes because they maximize the available packing space. After all, that's probably the same shape as your packing cubes and pouches, so you won't have empty corners, and it's important to utilize every inch of your carry-on if you're going to be one bag traveling. We also find it easiest to pack backpacks that open fully clamshell because you can see all the space you have to fill at once. Top-loading bags force you to think about what order to pack them, although that style is great for a personal item bag since it's often easier to access your gear under the seat in front of you on the plane if you don't have to fully open the bag. However, if you're bringing one roller bag, look for one with the compression panel or straps holding your gear in place. It makes it a lot easier to close it without all your packing cubes falling out on one side. I know that this video is about one bag travel, but if you're traveling with just one bag, you're still going to want to bring something else to carry every day on your trip. We usually wear a sling through the airport and at our destination, but if you don't like them or you have a packable day pack packed away instead, make sure there's at least one quick access pocket on your travel bag for your passport, wallet, phone, and headphones. That way you know where all of your essential items are inside of this big one travel bag. However, you'll want that pocket to be secure, just like you'll want to lock down your personal information online. Whether you've had your data leaked from sites like LinkedIn and X, or just heard about the breach on the news, you may wonder how to keep your info safe. I find that it's easiest to start with NordVPN, this video's sponsor. They encrypt my data when I'm working on an unsecured Wi-Fi network in another country or down the street, and let me know if someone leaks my password on the dark web. I don't have to worry about browsing on my phone, laptop, or tablet since my info is covered on up to 6 devices, so I'm confident that I'm always covered. Plus, I can catch the latest episode of my favorite show, even if it's geo-blocked in the country I'm visiting, and connecting to different servers around the world helps me find the best deals on flights and hotels. You can try it out before your next trip thanks to their 30-day money-back guarantee. Just use code PACKHACKER at nordvpn.com/packhacker to get 4 extra months free on a 2-year plan. Then you can take off without worrying about password leaks and malware. When it's time to load everything up, it's essential to sort all of your gear before you start loading those packing cubes. There are a few different ways to get organized, though we tend to use a mix of all three. First of all, you can organize by context. For example, put your hat and winter gloves with everything else you need to stay warm, like a hoodie, jacket, and buff. When the temperature drops, you'll know exactly where to find what you need. You can also separate your clothing into outfits if you're heading somewhere like a destination wedding where you need specific clothing for each day of your trip. You can also pack by type. That means putting all your socks together, all your t-shirts together, shorts together, pants together, things like that. This method works really well when you have pouches to fill or bags with a lot of pockets that you can use to organize your gear. Even if you don't want to do that with your clothing, it's handy for organizing your shoes, tech, and toiletries. Lastly, you can pack by category, which is my personal favorite. Put all your tops together and all your bottoms together. When we say bottoms, we mean things like socks, underwear, shorts, and pants. Then you could put all your tanks, t-shirts, button-downs, and bras together. It's a broader way of categorizing your clothing than the type method. I don't usually have enough of one item to fill an entire packing cube, and by putting all of my pants and shorts in one cube and tops in another, I know where to find what I need. No matter what you choose, we prefer using a capsule wardrobe to save space because bringing a ton of clothing is usually unnecessary. That means grabbing items that mix and match together, like a pair of black pants that goes with every shirt or a sweater you can lay on top of a tee for a different look. You're not going to need a different pair of jeans or shorts for every single day of your trip, but you are going to want to carry a couple different layers so that you can layer up if there's inclement weather. Once you figure out how you're sorting everything, lay it all out on a flat surface. Whether you pick your kitchen table or your bed, you'll get a good idea of what you have to decide what's essential and what's not. You've already got your gear organized into categories, so now it's time to check out the size of each group so you know how to pack it up. It's best to wear your bulkier gear to save space, although that's harder if you fly from Florida to Colorado for a ski trip than from Michigan down to an all-inclusive resort in the tropics. Granted, I'm always cold in the airport and on the plane, so even if I'm traveling from hot to cold climates, I'm only suffering for that tiny time where I'm transferring between like a bus or a shuttle or something like that. That's where the layers come in handy. Carry your hoodie, and then once you get inside of the airport, you can put it on. Lay the right size packing cubes on top of your piles, then start rolling your gear to keep it neat and tidy. For example, I roll all of my shirts, put them in one cube, and use a smaller one for socks and underwear. My pants and sweaters go together in a larger compression cube to save space in my bag. You can put anything that doesn't need to go in a cube or a pouch aside until you're ready to pack the bag. But having everything else packed up will also give you an idea of whether it will all fit in your travel backpack or if you have to start picking what to leave behind. This is also a great time to pack your toiletry bag and your tech pouch because it's easy to forget that you need to save space in your bag for those too. Just like you laid out all your clothing first, set out your grooming gear and tech to see if you can make any cuts. You may be able to leave shampoo and soap behind if you're staying in a hotel that stocks the bathroom, and you may not need every device you own if you won't be working abroad. If you just plan to game or stream shows, you may be able to get away with a tablet or even just your phone instead of bringing a bulky laptop. So now that you have everything all together, you can start playing Tetris with how it fits into your bag. On my recent trip to the Dominican Republic, I must have packed, unpacked, and repacked my bag 15 different times until I got everything to fit just the way I wanted it. As long as you're patient, there's a good chance that you can get everything that you want inside of the bag. However, you'll want to pay attention to weight distribution if you're using a travel backpack. So center heavier gear like sandals or travel shoes at your back, and then start stacking packing cubes around them. This helps the bag feel balanced on your back and ultimately increases carry comfort. That may matter less if you're using rolling-on luggage, unless your carry-on tends to tip forward. In that case, you're going to want to pack your heavier gear on the back side and towards the bottom so that it helps weigh it down. You can use any internal pockets for gear you didn't already put in another bag, like a travel jacket or a hat, and pack your toiletry bag near the top in case you have to pull it out to get through security. If you plan to shop on your trip, leave a little space to bring what you get home. However, if you like to pack food for breakfast or snacks, you'll automatically make space in your bag as you consume it throughout your trip, so that's an easy way to build it in. Gear that you plan to carry in your pockets should be able to fit in a quick access pocket on the outside of your bag, or you'll want to wear a sling so you don't have your wallet, cash, and keys floating freely in the bin as it goes through the X-ray machine. That's a recipe for disaster, forgetting something behind, getting to your gate, and then realizing that you need to go all the way back to security to go get it. If you're going to be traveling for some time, try living out of your luggage or your travel backpack for a little bit. Take a walk around the block while wearing your fully packed bag so you can see if anything's poking you in the back or if the bag is just too heavy. The ultimate goal isn't to bring as little as possible, but to ensure that you can live with what you are bringing. It's much easier to justify grabbing one more shirt or a pair of socks before you go if you figure out that you'd prefer not having to do laundry every 3 days and you still have room to spare. So, where will you travel with one bag this year? Now that you've seen just how easy it can be, we can't wait to hear where you're going. Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.